It is a story that has infuriated many people here in Northeast Ohio. A mom murdered. Her family making it known that they are not happy with the way this case is being handled.
The mom of three murdered inside a Warrensville Heights home last month. Today marking the start of justice for those who knew and loved the 46-year-old.
I think it's just going to be a long process. We're going to take it one day at a time.
Police say they got a domestic disturbance call on October 9th. When police arrived, they say that's when they discovered Williams was shot several times. She was rushed to the hospital, but later died.
The family's still grieving.
Warrensville Heights police last week issued an arrest warrant for her fiancé, Tirrell Edwards. He would eventually turn himself in. Williams' family says there is a long history of domestic violence, which ultimately ended with her life being taken too soon. Edwards is facing multiple charges, including murder and domestic violence. Today, a judge set his bond at $1 million.
October 9th, 2023. A quiet neighborhood in Warrensville Heights, Ohio. The kind of street where nothing ever seems to happen. Then suddenly, blue lights, police tape, neighbors standing barefoot in the cold night air, and inside one home, a woman lay bleeding on the floor after being shot multiple times. But what made this case truly horrifying was the man who called 911. Because according to investigators, he calmly admitted something unthinkable. He allegedly told dispatchers, "I killed her." The woman was 46-year-old Amanda Williams, a mother, a business owner, a woman who many people believed was finally building the life she deserved. And the man accused of killing her was the person she planned to marry. But as detectives started digging deeper into that night, the story began changing. The fiancé claimed self-defense. The family claimed Amanda was terrified. And prosecutors would later reveal a disturbing detail that changed everything. Amanda had been shot in the back multiple times. So what really happened inside that house? And why did the final moments of Amanda Williams feel less like an argument and more like an execution?
To understand why this case hit people so hard, you first have to understand Amanda Williams. Friends described Amanda as vibrant, stylish, warm. The type of person who could walk into a room and immediately make people feel comfortable. She was a salon owner and entrepreneur, creative, independent, driven. Amanda owned a beauty business called A La Mode Styles, where clients say she didn't just do hair. She listened. She encouraged people. She made women feel confident. To many people, Amanda was more than a stylist. She was therapy. She was comfort. She was family. Online, Amanda looked happy. Photos showed her smiling, traveling, celebrating life. And somewhere along the way, she fell in love. At least, that's what everyone believed. Her fiancé, Tirrell Edwards, appeared to be part of the future Amanda was building. A fresh chapter, a stable relationship, a home together, a life together. But behind closed doors, some people would later wonder if things were far darker than they appeared. Because after Amanda's death, friends started speaking carefully, almost cautiously, like they were replaying old memories differently now, looking for warning signs they may have missed. And the closer investigators looked at Amanda's relationship, the more unsettling things became.
In the weeks before the shooting, Amanda continued living what appeared to be a normal life. Working, posting online, talking with friends, planning ahead. Nothing publicly suggested that her life was about to end violently. But relationships can hide storms behind beautiful photos. And according to prosecutors later on, the relationship between Amanda and Tirrell may not have been as peaceful as it looked. There were reports of tension, arguments, control issues,
and emotional conflict simmering beneath the surface. Still, no one imagined it would end in murder. Then came October 9th, a Monday night, the kind of ordinary evening that would become unforgettable for all the wrong reasons. Inside the couple's home on Sunset Drive, something happened, something explosive. And before the night was over, Amanda Williams would be fighting for her life.
The night air outside was quiet. No screams echoing through the neighborhood. No warning. Then, suddenly, gunshots. Inside the home, chaos erupted. According to investigators, Amanda was shot multiple times. 6 shots in total. Imagine those final moments. The confusion. The terror. The realization that the person holding the weapon was someone she trusted. Police say the gun used in the shooting actually belonged to Amanda herself. And then came the detail investigators could never ignore. Several shots struck Amanda in the back. That single fact would later destroy the defense's version of events. But in those first moments, police didn't yet know exactly what had happened. They only knew a woman was dying inside a house, and the man connected to her death was still there. Then came the 911 call. The call that would shock investigators and later spread across media coverage of the case. According to authorities, Tirrell Edwards allegedly admitted to killing Amanda. Not a stranger. Not an intruder. Not an accident. Her fiancé. By the time emergency crews arrived, Amanda was critically wounded. She was rushed to the hospital, but the damage was catastrophic. 46-year-old Amanda Williams was pronounced dead. And just like that, a successful business owner and beloved mother became the center of a homicide investigation. But strangely, the case was only beginning. Because what happened next confused almost everyone watching. Normally, in a case involving a fatal shooting and an alleged confession, people expect immediate arrests. But that didn't happen. Not at first. And the delay triggered outrage. Amanda's family was devastated. But they were also angry. They demanded answers. Why wasn't anyone in custody? Why did it feel like the investigation was moving slowly? Community members began speaking publicly. Church leaders stepped in. Loved ones held vigils. And across social media, people began asking the same question. If Amanda had been shot 6 times, why was no one charged yet? Meanwhile, investigators continued piecing together the timeline. Inside the home, detectives analyzed physical evidence, bullet trajectories, the weapon, the positions inside the house. And according to prosecutors, the evidence wasn't matching the story that would later emerge. Because Tirrell Edwards claimed he acted in self-defense. Self-defense. It's a phrase that instantly changes everything. Suddenly, the case wasn't just about who fired the gun. It became about fear, threat, survival. Who was the aggressor? Who was telling the truth? And one chilling question lingered over everything. How do you shoot someone in the back multiple times during self-defense? Weeks passed. Public pressure intensified. Then finally, a grand jury indicted Tirrell Edwards. Aggravated murder, felonious assault, domestic violence. The charges confirmed what Amanda's family already believed. This wasn't a tragic accident. Prosecutors believed Amanda had been intentionally killed. Soon after the indictment, Edwards turned himself in. And now, the case was headed to trial. But the deeper the trial went, the darker the story became. At trial, the courtroom became divided between 2 completely different versions of reality. One side painted Amanda as a victim of deadly domestic violence. The other claimed Tirrell Edwards feared for his life. And then, Edwards took the stand himself. That decision changed the energy of the entire courtroom.
Because now jurors weren't just hearing lawyers argue. They were hearing directly from the man accused of murder. Edwards claimed Amanda threatened him, that he acted out of fear, that the shooting was self-defense. But prosecutors weren't buying it. Not even close. They focused on the forensic evidence, the number of shots, the positioning, and most importantly, the gunshots to Amanda's back. Those wounds told a story prosecutors believed could not be explained away. Then came another haunting detail. Amanda was allegedly shot with her own gun. Imagine the psychological horror of that. A weapon she legally owned, becoming the instrument used to end her life. And as testimony continued, the prosecution painted a terrifying picture. An argument escalating. Emotions spiraling. A moment where anger overtook reason. Not self-defense. Murder. The jury listened carefully. For days. And when deliberations finally began, Amanda's family waited in agony. Because one question remained unanswered. Would the jury believe the shooting was intentional or justified?
In March 2024, the verdict finally arrived. The jury rejected the aggravated murder charge. But they convicted Tirrell Edwards of murder, felonious assault, and domestic violence. The courtroom atmosphere was heavy, emotional, painful. For Amanda's loved ones, the conviction brought some measure of justice. But not closure. Because closure doesn't really exist in cases like this. Not when someone's life ends violently. Not when children lose a parent. Not when families replay the final hours over and over forever. Prosecutors believe the evidence spoke clearly. Amanda was shot 6 times. Some wounds were to her back. The physical evidence contradicted the idea of immediate life-threatening danger. Investigators believe the relationship conflict escalated into deadly violence. And in one irreversible moment, Amanda lost everything. Her future, her business, her family, her life. Then came sentencing. Tirrell Edwards received life in prison with the possibility of parole after 24 years. Amanda's loved ones spoke emotionally in court. Some cried. Some shook with anger. Others simply looked exhausted. Because long before the trial ended, their lives had already changed forever.
Today, Amanda Williams is remembered by the people who loved her most. As a mother, a businesswoman, a friend, a woman whose life ended inside the very place she should have felt safest. And that's what makes this case linger in people's minds. Not just the violence, but the betrayal. The terrifying idea that danger sometimes doesn't come from strangers hiding in the dark. Sometimes, it's sitting beside you at dinner, sleeping beside you at night, building a future beside you. The Amanda Williams case also reignited conversations about domestic violence warning signs, about emotional escalation, about how quickly arguments can turn irreversible when guns enter the picture. But even now, questions still haunt people who followed the case. What exactly happened during those final moments? Was this building for longer than anyone realized? Did Amanda know how dangerous the situation had become? Those answers may never fully emerge. Because the only 2 people who truly knew what happened inside that house that night were Amanda Williams and the man convicted of killing her. One is gone forever, and the other will spend decades behind bars, carrying the weight of what happened on Sunset Drive. But for Amanda's family, time stopped the moment those gunshots rang out. And somewhere in Warrensville Heights, there is still a house where an ordinary Monday night became a permanent nightmare. A place where a love story ended in bloodshed, and where 6 gunshots
changed countless lives forever. Because sometimes, the most dangerous secrets are hidden behind closed doors.